15 years. One company. One marriage. Routine ruled every inch of my life, black coffee, same parking spot, colorless shirts lined in order of shade. Until this morning. The email arrived at 6:52 a.m., subject cold as winter steel. Meeting with CEO, 9 a.m. HR present. Mandatory. Signed, Karen Wilcox, Human Resources Director. Karen, my wife. We'd been distant for years. Once spontaneous lovers turned passing roommate. Her pillow remained fluffed each morning. I stopped noticing how her perfume changed. My tie choked harder than usual as I walked the corridor leading to the executive floor. Footsteps sounded louder, like they echoed guilt. Mindy from HR stood outside the boardroom. Young, bright-eyed, awkwardly chipper. She avoided eye contact. Inside, Mr. Claymore, CEO and master of masked intentions, sat behind his fortress of mahogany. Karen stood beside him, clipboard pressed to her ribs like a shield. Her lipstick was a deeper red than I remembered. Or maybe I'd just stopped remembering. Robert, Claymore began, tone unnervingly gentle, after 15 dedicated years, we're restructuring. Words slow. Measured. Practiced. Karen didn't speak at first. Her stare remained fixed on the blinds. I waited for someone to laugh. Nobody did. We're offering severance, she said finally, her voice sharper than necessary. My chest tightened. You couldn't tell me at home? Claymore shifted, clearly uncomfortable. Karen answered, calm. This is professional. It's how these things are handled. Professional. Like our marriage became. Meetings, emails, notes on the fridge. I swallowed rage. Why now? Efficiency. Leadership shifts, she said quickly. And other factors. What other factors? Karen hesitated, then said it. I've been seeing someone. My heart stopped beating. The silence in that room became thunderous. Who? I asked. She looked away. Someone who sees me. Talks to me. I stared at her hand. No wedding ring. Had she removed it before this meeting? Claymore cleared his throat, tried to pivot. 9-month package. Full benefits. Job placement services. It's a fair exit. Exit. Like I was some obsolete code. A faded spreadsheet. I nodded numbly, stood without replying, left my ID badge on the table. They didn't stop me. Outside, the sky looked cruelly bright. My car felt foreign. The seat smelled like Karen's shampoo. I ripped the rearview mirror downward, stared at myself. Same face. Different man. Maybe a forgotten one. I drove nowhere for an hour. Eventually, home. Empty kitchen. Counter still held the almond milk she bought, but I never drank. Her half of the closet looked strangely neat. Maybe she'd been preparing. Maybe I'd been blind. By dusk, bourbon burned through my stomach. I scrolled through my phone, paused at an old name, Lena Maddock. We'd dated before Karen. Wild. Fierce. The type who never apologized for wanting more. I messaged her. Still around. The reply came quick. Depends. You still taken? I stared at the question. Then answered. Not anymore. Turns out I was the last to know. 3 dots. Then. Bring something strong. I've got glasses. No small talk. I grabbed a bottle. Left the silence behind. Lena lived in a converted factory. Red brick, huge windows, plants that reached for the ceiling like wild things. It smelled like clove cigarettes, cedarwood candles, and danger. The kind you crawl into willingly. She opened the door barefoot, wearing an oversized shirt that definitely wasn't hers. Her hair was longer now, tangled like secrets she never explained. Her lips curled into a smirk, not quite a smile. Didn't think you'd actually come. I didn't either, I admitted, holding up the bottle. Whiskey. A good one. She stepped aside. Shoes off. No one brings the outside in here. I obeyed, towing off leather and leaving everything I used to be by the door. We sat on the couch, no small talk like she promised. Just 2 glasses and silence filled with old memories neither of us wanted to name. So, she finally said, crossing her legs, she cheated? I sipped. Apparently. With someone from work? I hesitated. Didn't say. But I saw the look. Lena nodded, swirling her drink. You always thought silence meant peace. It doesn't. It just means someone's dying quieter than you. That stung. I didn't argue. Couldn't. She studied me. You look tired. I feel hollow. Like I'm walking inside someone else's body. You used to feel like gasoline. I laughed bitterly. Now I'm office furniture. She tilted her head. Wanna stop being furniture? There was a spark in her eyes. The same spark that once convinced me to kiss her behind a police station during a thunderstorm. The same spark that ruined my favorite sweater and half my sanity. I'm not here for revenge sex, I said. Good, she said, leaning in, lips a breath from mine. Because I don't do revenge. I do choices. And then she kissed me. It wasn't desperate. It wasn't soft. It was memory, hunger, something deeply familiar clawing its way back into existence. I didn't stop her. I didn't even pretend to. Her body moved against mine like no time had passed. Her hands knew where the cracks were. I let her break me. Afterward, we lay tangled in the aftershock. The moon painted her skin silver. Her arm draped over my chest like she never left. Still want your old life back? She asked. I don't know what I want. She sat up, pulled the shirt back on. That's a start. You never admitted that before. I watched her walk to the kitchen, pour water, light another candle. Calm, confident, untamed. My phone buzzed on the table. A message from Karen. I'll be by tomorrow to get the rest of my things. Please don't be here. No goodbye. No apology. Lena leaned against the counter. She still thinks she owns the house? She does. No, Rob. She doesn't. Not anymore. I stared at her, then back at the message. She was right. That life? That Robert? Gone. Something new had started. I didn't go home. Karen's message sat unread beneath Lena's Wi-Fi password. Her apartment, dim and warm, felt more like a memory than a location. Brick walls heard everything but never repeated it. Morning came slow, filtered through linen curtains, touching Lena's bare back like it had missed her too. I sat on her floor, drinking black coffee she didn't ask if I wanted. She never did. Lena offered presents, never permission. Plans today? She asked, crouching beside me, shirt draping one shoulder. Karen's swinging by for the rest of her things, I replied. You gonna let her walk through your ribcage like she owns the bones? I smirked. What am I supposed to do, change the locks? Burn them. She said it without irony. I believed her. By noon, I returned home. Same beige walls. Same ghost of a marriage lingering in curtain folds and kitchen drawers. I poured bourbon into a coffee mug. Sat at the dining table like a man awaiting trial. She arrived at 1:37. Knocked once. Didn't wait for an answer. Karen wore workout gear like armor. Tight, sleek, polished in that corporate wellness way. Her eyes didn't meet mine. She walked straight to the bedroom, grabbed the suitcase she'd left beside the dresser last week. Didn't say a word. You could have told me months ago, I said. She paused. Would it have mattered? Yes. Her voice cracked slightly. You stopped seeing me, Rob. I didn't know I had to look harder. She zipped the bag. That's the problem. I didn't want harder. I wanted presence. My chest tightened. Did you love him? She hesitated. And that was my answer. She rolled the suitcase to the door, opened it. Light from outside poured in, making her look almost angelic. Almost. I hope you find something real again, she said quietly. Then she left. No slamming door. No drama. Just finality. Later that evening, I returned to Lena's. She didn't ask questions. Just passed me a pen and a napkin. Write something, she said. What? Anything. But it has to be true. I wrote. I forgot how to want. I'm learning again. She read it, nodded. You're not boring when you bleed. That night we didn't touch. Just lay on opposite ends of her mattress, talking. About things we never finished years ago. About love. About the versions of ourselves we'd abandoned for comfort. You think this is real? I asked. She traced the air with her finger, spelling nothing. It could be. But don't confuse comfort with connection. Is this connection? She didn't answer. She didn't need to. The quiet between us pulsed with something raw. Unnamed. Undeniable. In the dark, I whispered, "What if I screw this up again?" Lena replied, voice low, steady, "Then screw it up honestly." And just like that, I felt like a man again. Not a role. Not a position. Not a husband. A man. 2 weeks passed. No alarm clocks. No budget meetings. No Karen. My calendar stayed blank, but Lena's filled the space. Her world moved differently. Freelancers, late-night design sessions, half-finished sculptures leaning against windows. I cooked breakfast, not because I had to, but because I wanted to. I never realized how intimate cracking eggs for someone could feel. She'd kiss me mid-sentence. Argue over jazz records. Sleep naked and unapologetic. I started breathing again. But ghosts don't knock. They slip in through old habit. It started when I went back to the office to sign final paperwork. Mindy greeted me with polite pity. Her eyes flicked downward, like she saw the holes I'd been pretending weren't there. "Claymore wants a quick word," she said. I followed her. Familiar hallway. Same smell, printer ink and invisible tension. Claymore stood by the window again. Same view. Different man across from him. "I won't drag this out," he said. "We appreciate your time here. I'm sorry things ended like this." "I'm not," I replied. "You did me a favor." He chuckled once hollow. "Karen's no longer with the company either." I raised an eyebrow. "Since when?" "Yesterday. She resigned." Didn't say why. For a second, guilt tried to claw back into my chest, but I ignored it. She'd made her choice. I was finally making mine. Outside, I ran into Rachel, a project manager I used to barely notice. She hugged me tightly. "Office feels strange without you," she said. "Claymore's trying to replace loyalty with numbers." "Good luck with that." "Drink sometime," she added. I hesitated. "I'm seeing someone." "Of course," she smiled. "Just drinks." But the way she touched my arm lingered. That night, I told Lena about it. She leaned on the counter, sipping something herbal. "Did you say yes?" "No." "Did you want to?" I didn't answer. "You can, you know," she said. "I'm not a leash. I'm not looking for an open thing." She smiled faintly. "I didn't say you were. I just don't believe in pretending curiosity isn't human." Her honesty always hit harder than lies. That night we had dinner. I cooked steak. She lit candles. We didn't play music. Just forks and breathing. Something in the air shifted. "Can I ask you something?" I said. She nodded. "If I had never messaged you, would you have reached out?" "No." "Why?" "Because I didn't think you'd be brave enough to answer." I stared at her, then down at my plate. I wasn't sure which scared me more, the version of myself she saw, or the one I was still becoming. After dinner, we danced in her living room. Slow, barefoot, messy. No rhythm. No rules. Just fire warming up old ash. Outside, the city buzzed. Inside, I finally felt quiet. Not numb. Still. And for the first time in years, I didn't miss who I used to be. Some mornings, Lena woke up painting. Naked, barefoot, brush in hand, smearing colors across the canvas like arguments she never got to have. I watched her from the kitchen, coffee in one hand, admiration in the other. She didn't ask me to understand her. Only to see her. And I did. But seeing someone means seeing the wreckage too. It started with a voicemail I didn't expect. "Karen. Hey. I know I said I wouldn't call. But there's something I should have said earlier. I didn't leave because of you. Or him. I left because I forgot who I was outside of you. I hope you're doing okay." I didn't reply. Not because I hated her, but because I finally realized I wasn't hers to answer anymore. Still, silence has sharp edges. That night, Lena came home later than usual, reeking of wine and gallery walls. Had a showing, she mumbled, tossing her bag aside. Met a buyer. Architect. Talked shop. Harmless. I nodded, but her lipstick smudged and hair wild told a longer story. One I didn't want to read. You smell like him, I said. She didn't flinch. And you smell like fear. The space between us filled with words we didn't say. Her stare held no apology. Mine held too many. I don't want to lose this, I said quietly. Then don't. But I can't be second. You're not, she replied. But I won't shrink just because you're scared. I'm not scared of you, I snapped. She stepped closer. Yes, you are. You're scared I'll hurt you like she did. You're scared because I don't need you to survive. And what if I do need you? She didn't answer right away. Then, softly, then be brave enough to stay even when it burns. That night we didn't touch. We didn't speak. We just lay there, backs turned, hearts open like wounds refusing stitches. By morning, she was gone. A note on the counter. Had to clear my head. Not running. Just breathing. Don't wait by the window. If this means something, it'll mean it tomorrow too. I didn't chase her. I cleaned her paintbrushes instead. I walked through the city that day, past people who didn't know me, through streets that didn't care about heartbreaks or rebirths. I thought about Karen. About Lena. About the man I had become by standing still too long. About the man I might be now that I was finally moving. That night, alone in Lena's apartment, I found her old sketchbook. Page after page of broken things, bridges, faces, hands that never held tight enough. Then one page near the back. Me. Not how I looked, but how I felt to her. Bold. Blurry. Half-finished. Still fighting to belong somewhere. And beneath it, one word. Still. Not stuck. Present. Waiting. 2 days passed. No calls. No messages. No keys turning in the lock. Lena vanished the way only wild things do, without drama, without warning. Just absence, thick and loud. I didn't spiral. Not like before. I read books she left half-finished. Watered the succulents she always said didn't need love, but secretly thrived when spoken to. I wore her robe one night, poured wine in her chipped ceramic cup, and stood on the balcony barefoot, letting the city remind me I was still alive. By day 3, I stopped waiting. Not because I stopped caring. Because I finally understood. People like her don't come back for comfort. They come back for truth. She returned on a Thursday. No knock. Just keys. Same as always. She stood in the doorway, hair damp from rain, eyes soft, lips pressed tight like she'd rehearsed everything and forgot it all on the way up. You didn't text, I said. You didn't either. I didn't want to chase you. I didn't want you to. I stepped closer. Did it mean anything? Every second, she whispered. But I needed to know if it was just lust, or if I'd miss you when the want wore off. And she dropped her bag. Walked until our foreheads met. I missed you when the coffee didn't taste right. When jazz felt too empty. When I laughed and you weren't there to see why. We didn't kiss right away. We just breathed each other in like relief. Later, we sat on the couch. No music. No wine. Just raw air. She spoke first. I don't do forever. I don't promise. I don't pretend I'm easy. I don't want easy anymore, I replied. I won't fix you. I don't need fixing. I'll want space sometimes. I'll stay close anyway. She smirked. You'll hate me some days. I smiled. Only if you love me the rest. Then we kissed. Not like the first time. Not like fire. Like roots. Like soil remembering the rain. Afterward, I reached for my phone. Found Karen's name still saved under home. I deleted it. A small act, but loud inside. Was she your beginning? Lena asked. No, I said, pulling her into my arms. She was my pause. You're the first sentence that made me want to keep reading. She nestled into my chest. Don't expect happy ever after, she murmured. Never did. We slept without fear that night. No secret. No performance. No ownership. Just two imperfect bodies sharing a bed where nothing had to be proven. Outside, the storm passed. Inside, I woke before sunrise, looked over at her, this woman with claw marks on her dreams, with fire behind her eyes, and realized. I wasn't angry anymore. Not at Karen. Not at myself. Not at the 15 years that led me here. They weren't wasted. They were chapters. This was the rewrite.